Hi there, and welcome to another exciting episode of Way of the Brush with me, your host, Kris, aka Mini Wargaming Kris, aka The Name Butcher, aka Hey You, Get Off My Lawn. Way of the Brush, the most informative 120 minutes on the internet on the wargaming lifestyle. We'll talk about painting, terrain, conversions, and everything under the sun. It's usually a whole lot of painting and a whole lot of what's under the sun, but if you're a first-time viewer, hopefully we'll learn something. Otherwise, really the whole point of this show is to demystify a lot of these things about painting, a lot of these aspects about painting that a lot of people seem to, it just kind of boggles their mind as to how you accomplish such a thing. Well, you'll learn that on this program, or even watching previous episodes as well. You'll get into all sorts of various things that we've talked about, and especially if you are a Mini Wargaming Vault member, then you are already well on your way to unraveling the mysteries of the universe, as it were. It's not like we're splitting atoms or anything. We're just putting paint on miniatures, people. I can see already some of the monkeys joining us today. I can see Jim White. Good day, fellow painters. Megatron, sup? Lazy Monkey, howdy, howdy, howdy. Knitfink, hello everyone. John Doe, hello. Ishab, hola, aloha, folks. Lord Krabby, holas. Holas. The Barfing Sheep, hello, Kris and Monkeys. Isaac Neal, hello from Wisco. The temp is technically above freezing. What does that mean, technically above freezing? 35 Fahrenheit, 1.6 Celsius. Take your pick. I'm putting the B-ball shorts. Putting on B-ball shorts. I don't know about that. Make Whiskey, good morning, everyone. Kurt Kershone, morning all. How are we all doing? I think we're all doing pretty darn good on this sunny Saturday afternoon. Ishab, it's actually cool again in New York. Was unusually warm for the last few weeks. Might snow tomorrow. Damn you, Al Gore, and your global warming. People still blame Al Gore for all that? Really? Are people really still blaming Al Gore? He just points out the thing that's occurring, and everybody's, no, it's his fault. He did it. He's a warlock. Ishab, anyone going to Adepticon? That's next week, if I'm right. Is it next? No, it's not next week. It's the week after. Is it? I don't have my calendar in front of me. Where's my calendar? No, that's next week. Where's my calendar? Oh, staring at me in the face. Wish I could attend. Hope Kris and others video it and post it. Oh yeah, we'll be videoing stuff and posting. I've never been to Adepticon myself, so I'm very excited about going. I'm probably maybe going to be entering something into the Crystal Brush. Probably one or two things, not too big. I haven't had a lot of time spent on painting up a really good display, but there's a few things that I'm confident I think I can get finished, but by then, hopefully. Also too, I'm just checking the scene out and just checking this whole thing out, because I've never been to a convention that is entirely dedicated to just wargaming, and I think that's kind of exciting. All these gamers are playing and all these variations of games and tabletop stuff. So yeah, it should be very exciting. And then plus too, all the vendors. I'm probably going to drop a couple bucks on some vendors, and yeah, should be fun. And of course, going to get to meet some people who probably are in the area or are going to be attending Adepticon, and get to be able to shake some hands with some people who are fans or viewers and whatever. So should be a lot of fun. It should be a lot of fun. I say should be, but it should be. Might not be. Yeah, it's not next week. It's the week after. Yeah, because today's the 19th, then we got to go a whole another week, and then it's near the end of the next week. It's on the 31st. So, about 2 weeks almost. Not quite. Less than 2 weeks. Kurt Grishon. I'm pissed about that. I'm sick for 2 weeks. Just starting to feel human again today, and snow tomorrow. Awesome. Make Whiskey. We're back up to 70 by a month ago. Nice. Isaac Neal. So, whose bracket is busted? Whose bracket is busted? Eh? What does that mean? I don't know what that means. Blatant Tate, pew pew pew. Make whiskey. Can anyone tell me anything about pigments? Well, what specifically would you like to know about pigments? How to apply them? How to go about buying them? How to, set them, seal them? What to do with them? Why would you want them? I've never messed with them before. I would like to start. Well, pigments are really great for some really subtle effects. Be it if you get, say, for example, tones that look like brick and concrete and things like that, like grays, like off greens, reds, stuff like that. You can create like dust on the boots and up the coat. Hey, often you see models for like city fighting or World War II models where they have like the dust up their boots and up their coats and stuff like that. Well, you can create that really easy with pigments. So you just paint the model like you normally would, but then with the pigments, you can come back over and lay that on top, and it'll change it all. And it's a lot easier to do than, say, for example, glazing, where you can take the layers of paint and thin them way down. You can create a similar effect, but pigments just get you there a lot faster. Pigments also work really great for doing rust effects, soot and oil effects on a model. There's all sorts of very subtle effects and not so subtle effects. Soot is really quite over the top, and it allows you to like draw. On airplanes, you get that exhaust and you get that black contrail like running along the body of the plane. It's very easy to do that with pigments, with a black pigment, right? Or even grays, or even both, using both. Pigments, really good for getting into details, like giving just a bit of color and details while retaining, the base tones of the model. You can put that color inside the details. If you can imagine, say, for example, the rib cage of a Necron Lord or Warrior, where he has, rust inside between the ribs, but the rest of it's all still metal. Very easy to do with pigments. Pigments, again, are very easy to use. A lot of companies produce pigments. I know, like, there's Secret Weapon, there's Vallejo. I personally like Vallejo. You get a lot for your dollar there. And the pigments from Vallejo I like is because they're really, really fine. And pigments, when you go about picking up any pigments, when you tap the bottle and you can see the pigment kind of dusting around, if the dust kind of just settles out like the bottle like smoke, like it's just a fine powder and it's just hanging in the air, that's a really good pigment because it's a really, really fine dust. It's like talcum powder almost. And so, and there's varying qualities of them. Usually they're all roughly about the same, but you get some that are just a little bit finer than others. Whereas Vallejo, really great pigments, but not a lot of colors available from them yet. Versus Secret Weapon, who produces a wide range of colors. They have a huge range of colors. And some really, really great colors, too, like the ones I like to use for the verdigris, like on bronze and stuff. And, yeah, they produce a really nice green and this off-blue color, turquoise color. And it works really, really great for, doing the verdigris within copper and bronze and, like those kind of things, the oxidization. Of course, with the pigments, you can also use them to fill in the cracks or, tint the surface or whatever. But you can also build up texture with pigments as well. I had shown us in a video like ages ago using like an ogre's sword. And I had shown you using the pigments and creating rust. But then I also created that kind of rust where it's kind of like barnacles and, it's got all this scale all over it and everything like that. And it's very easy to do, again, with pigments. You just simply, dusting it onto the miniature. Setting the pigments on the model surface, very easy to do. And when you seal the model, there is a slight bit of discoloration. The color kind of drops out a bit just because of the wetness and the mixing of material. But otherwise, as long as you bear that in mind, you can always kind of overdo an effect. And then when you seal it, it's going to get that toned down a bit and it'll be about where you want it, right? And so you can always overdo something just a bit, because it's going to come back down just a bit when you seal it. And so, many companies out there produce it. You can also make your own. There are a few videos online for doing your own pigments. And basically, it's using pastels. Now, I definitely would not recommend oil pastels because the oil binder for pastel will get into your mixture and it'll just be a mess. Anyway, so you need to find the dry pastels. And you just basically take like your X-Acto blade or your hobby knife, whatever, and just gently run it down and shave off. Now you are not going to get as fine a dusting as you will, say, pre-prepared pigments like from Vallejo or anything like that. They're not going to get as fine as that. But in a pinch, yeah, if you really, really, really had to get your hands on some pigments right away, just head to your local art store, pick up some dry pastels, and just shave them down. And yeah, don't get oil pastels. Oil pastels are bad. It's not that they're bad. It's just that the oil binders in them is just going to get everywhere, and it's a mess. You're just going to make a mess. That's all you're going to do. So hopefully, McWhiskey, that answers your question somewhat. If not, well then, I don't know. Too bad. Eric Coins joining us today. No Mag 23. Haven't tried to use pigments yet myself. Well, hopefully, I answered your question. Hopefully. Greenleaf Terrain. No freaking way of the brush. No freaking way of the brush. The Barfing Sheep. I think Kris made a quick tip with pigments. Yes, there's quite a few videos I've done on pigments, kind of explaining like what I just mentioned here, and also kind of demonstrating, doing rust and dust and soot, I think, as well. There's a few other effects. Kind of have to hunt around, though, in the vault. Isaac Neal, they're amazing unless you're allergic. Yep, because they're really, really fine. They kind of creep up your nose. Saba Cerez, it's on. Clumsy Juggler, there he is. Clumsy Juggler. Spite You, made it. Lucien Velinor. Man, where did I go? There we go. The Perfect Sheep. Can anybody explain to me, hey, you get off my lawn business? Hey, it's just, I mean, there's just some nights everything kind of gets out of hand. And when you're coming to in the morning and the sun's rising and you got somebody yelling at you, hey, get off my lawn. That's just kind of weird. That's where that kind of happens. I don't know. Lucien Valensor. Morning, Kris. King Luke 2222. There he is, King Luke. Thomas Rasmussen. I don't know. I'll say Rasmussen. It's probably horribly wrong, but hey, monkeys and Lord of the Mooplestache. Joshua Berg. First time watching. Well, welcome. Parker Gray. Hello, everyone. Hello. Tolo. There he is. The Tolo. No Mag 23. I'll be at Adepticon. Will be a blast for sure. Yes, it will be a blast. We'll have some laughs, I'm sure. We probably won't learn a thing, but we'll probably have some laughs. Ishred near the cursed. Hi, Kris. Coffee. Yes, you know what? Coffee. That's a good idea. That's the smartest idea I've heard out of this comment all day. Coffee. No, Mag 23. Kris isn't that for sure. That's for sure. Kris isn't. That's for sure. I'm going. Depicot? Sure I am. Oh, you talking about the NCAA tourney. Nobody's watching? No, I'm doing this thing, man. Lord Krabby, question. Out of all the Citadel paints you work with, which be your top 3? And of course, what are your 3 worst? Well, Lord Krabby, we kind of had a conversation like this. The top 3 paints to work with. Now, are we talking like the current range or the ranges that have spanned history, like all the variations of the paint? Because this current iteration of Citadel paints is probably the most extensive, being more colors and also more of the technical stuff, like the blood, the oxide, the base texturing materials, right? All that kind of stuff, like all these different, additives and add-ons for the paint line. Fantastic, I think. It's really great. It's been a really great compliment to really kind of get people into painting and get their models done and, get them done quickly. You know, no, we're not talking Golden Demon or, you know, super high display standard kind of painting. We're just talking about getting the stuff tabletop so it looks good on the table and you can play with it, and it, you know, nobody's gonna, you know, bust your chops about it, right? As far as the paints, out of all the paints, which are my top three? Man, I don't know. Well, Mephiston Red. Everybody knows I love Mephiston Red. And beyond that, I don't know. I can't say. Abaddon Black is really darn good. And I guess Incubi Darkness. Incubi Darkness. It just looks like the color that it's representing. Incubi Darkness. And it's such a great way to begin highlighting black. Like even just starting with it or mixing it into black and then kind of building up. Either way, works really well. Yeah, those would probably three. But Mephiston Red, and then everything else would be like a close second, I guess, really. Well, okay, no, not everything. Because the next part of the question is, what would be my three worst? Well, my three worst would be Ceramite White and White Scar. Ceramite White being first before White Scar. Ceramite White gets chunky on you fast if you're not using it a lot. It gets chunky in the pot. The pigment, because it's the base paint, like the base level of colors, where they have a little denser pigment, it just seems to get chunky really, really fast. And all the paints that have a lot of white to them, okay? You got all the paints that like the light grays, you know, really light blues, and all these things, even the edge colors and stuff like that. When you break them down with the medium, you can see the pigment and everything like that. When you break it down with the medium, and kind of do some glazing with them, and yeah, and so you can see the pigments, and so it's kind of, you know, and what I really don't like is it kind of looks chalky. It kind of looks chalky right off from the start. When you start playing with it and you break it down really thin, it looks chalky, and I don't like that. White Scar is not too bad for it, but Ceramite White, when you break it down and try to glaze with it, it looks like you're playing with wet chalk, and it just doesn't look good. It just doesn't look good. So I definitely would not recommend that. But yeah, as far as like a top three, Ceramite White is like at the top of my least favorite paints. I still use it all the time, but it's my least favorite, you know. The barfing sheep. I know he likes Mephiston Red. Yeah, see, I've said it like a bazillion times. I like Mephiston Red. I just love that deep, dark, vibrant red. It's just such a spectacular color. It's spectacular. You think because I like that color so much that my Samhan army would be more like that color, whereas no, it's not. It's more like Evil Sun Scarlet. That's the base for my army, is Evil Sun Scarlet. That vibrant of a red, not Mephiston Red. Mephiston Red is a darker red, more like the base for Blood Angels and things like that. And you'd think, well, for Space Marines, I'd go Blood Angels because I like the red, right? But no. Space Marines, I like Crimson Fists. Make whiskey, dust on the boots and suit, and oil. Exactly what I wanted to do. I just got some Forge World Mechanicum that I wanted to muck up. Yeah, Forge World. Yeah, that's another one. Forge World pigments. You can get them from there too. I think they're a little bit pricey, but everything Games Workshop Forge World's, you know, premium priced. When I say pricey, I mean premium priced. It's a premium. When I say it's overpriced, I say it's premium. When I say that you can get the same thing for cheaper, it's premium. Is it the Rolls Royce of whatever, you know, is it the Rolls Royce of pigments, brushes, paints, whatever? Yeah, it's debatable. It's all premium priced. Not to poo-poo on it too harshly, but yeah, the prices are kind of dumb. They could be fixed for what you get. You pay a lot for what you get. You don't get that much. Yeah, it's Thomas Rasmussen. He recommends AK pigments. I would too. Never used them myself, but you know, again, it's another company, and AK I know has been around a long time. Same with Tamiya as well. And you know, a lot of scale modelers use pigments, and you know, and really what the thing is like with the pigments and the airbrushing and all these techniques, all this weathering techniques and stuff like that, it all comes from the scale modelers. So if you're really serious about kind of staying on top of miniature painting, and or you really want to delve into what how people are coming up with these techniques, look at scale modelers. Scale modelers have been doing this stuff for years, decades. They've been doing this stuff, because a lot of scale modelers, they're a lot of older fellows, okay? And they don't have the time or patience to wet blend colors and achieve blends and do these kinds of things that we often do on miniatures. They often won't do. And so they'll often use chemicals and additives and actual physical kind of techniques to achieve their end desired result, which is going to give them something very realistic. And again, that's often where all these techniques come from, is from scale modelers. So if you want to pick up some early inspiration on weathering techniques and things like that, because it's really what it's all about, is the weathering. And yeah, it's all in the scale modelers. Where am I in the chat? I don't know. Losing my mind. Barfing sheep, flayed ones taking skin, I suppose. Despite you, only flayed ones can strip. I don't know what we're talking about now. See? Lost in the comments. Okay, I'm just gonna kind of scroll through a whole bunch. If I missed you, I'm sorry. Like Mini Warzone and BFD HUD, Yogi KK. Hello, Mr. Kris. I have a problem with edge highlighting on black. Any advice, please? It always comes out very unnatural. I paint Raven Guard. Well, Yogi KK, I recently did some Raven Guard videos in Mini Wargaming's vault on painting, the Raven Guard Space Marines. And the edge highlighting, whenever we're doing edge highlighting, let me see here if I can kind of get an example going. Let's imagine the entire pen here, okay, is the bristles. This is the hair, and my finger, that's the furl, that's the metal that holds the bristles in place, right? Okay. This is our bit of miniature. This is the edge. This is no good. Let's go with something a little more bigger. I got nothing. We'll use my moisturizer, my lube. Okay, so this is the miniature with the bristles, and you want to get the edge. You see how you got like this 3-dimensional kind of rectangular shape, and we just want to catch this edge. Well, with the bristles, and it's got a little bit of paint, about halfway up the paint, you can just simply, with the bristles on the edge, follow along and catch just that edge of that detail. And now that's not really why it's called edge highlighting. Edge highlighting is just because you're building the color out towards the edges of the detail. That's often why it's called the edge highlighting, not because the technique of using the edge of your bristles. So, yeah, that's the easiest way of getting edge highlighting to occur on your miniature. And with black, you're saved a lot of real estate on that you have to cover on the miniature. Raven Guard, any black kind of miniature, you can build the color very, very subtly. And like I mentioned earlier in the video, in this show, I like inky by darkness to start off with the highlighting for black, because you can either take black and mix it 1-to-1 or 2-to-1, whichever way you want to go, how dark ever you want to start it. But be mindful though that the deeper you go, the harder it is to see that transition. And so when you're slowly building transitions up, it takes a bit to see it, right? So you're better off with something more like a 1-to-1, or just using straight out of the bottle inky by darkness, and apply a very small highlight with inky by darkness. And you can actually build up black to just inky by darkness if you wanted to. Or you can even build it up to, say, Dark Reaper, which is about a next color up with just a little bit more white in it. And it's a really great color. I think somebody scaled my paints. Okay, sorry about that. So, building up from black. See, you go Incubi Darkness right there. And then you can go to Dark Reaper like that. That is very, very nice. So Dark Reaper, Incubi Darkness, and then black. Very fast, simple, effective way of building up the highlights on top of black. And again, as I mentioned before, you don't have to build the highlights very far. You can actually just follow just the edge. And so you can go with just like, a mix of Abaddon Black and Incubi Darkness and just do the entire, like say for example, Space Marine shoulder pad and just do the entire shoulder pad. Just follow the edges all the way around. And then you take just Incubi Darkness and just go halfway up from the detail or halfway down from a curvature or whichever way you want to handle it. And you just stop. And then you can take, say, just a little bit of that Dark Reaper and just like a little tick here and there and just create like a little spot highlight right where you want it. And that's it. And you'll be tabletop and you're ready to go. Very, 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 very simple and effective. You don't have to apply a whole lot of highlighting on, models that are really, really black or really, really white. Because, again, white is the same way. White is just very, very tight shadows, leaving most of the armor white. And it's kind of the same way with black. Black is just very minimal highlights. White's very, very, very minimal shadows. And that's it. So hopefully that kind of helps. That's the wrong mouse. So hopefully that kind of helps there. Yogi, I think it was, that asked that question. Yeah, it was Yogi. Yeah, he was using Eshin Gray and Dawnstone. Yeah, it's kind of gray, right? And it's kind of dull and boring. Incubi Darkness is my favorite to use. I knew it was lube. He finally admitted it's not lube. Damn it! How many times I gotta see? Ultra moisturizing. Moisturizing. Anyway, that's all that is. Gotta keep my hands nice and soft and supple. Yogi, thanks for the advice, Mr. Kris and chat. Yeah, no problem. Random Mob made it to live one for the first time in ages. Well, welcome, Random Mob. Where are we? I don't know where we are in the comments. So I will say Lazy Monkey at Kris. Lube can be moisturizing too, I'm sure. Yes, I'm sure. Yeah, it's email time, I think, Lazy. Yes, definitely. Yes, indeed. Isvanier the Accursed. Hey, Kris, did you see that the new black, which is built from microtubes that swallows light like nothing crazy? Whoa, I didn't understand a word of that. Hey, Kris, did you see the new black witch is built from microtubes that allows light like nothing crazy? I'm not sure I follow that, Isvanier. Are you talking about like an actual thing? Or a new black? Are you talking about like a new black? Yeah, I don't know what it means. But microtubes, yes, I know microtubes, because they're finding it with microtubes, like fly wings and stuff like that, how they get the rainbow colors. They're finding it's just those tubes, and it's just how much light is playing around inside each of those tubes and what light bounces back out. And that's what color we see. And so it's just these little tubes that are in that structure, this little honeycomb shape, and and it bounces back that light. And so, yeah, they're finding there's all these little. It's this whole new nanotechnology age that we're in, and they're finding out all these things. And of course, nature is really the guide for how these effects occur. And yeah, it's pretty crazy. I think that's what he's talking about, the microtubes, the nano microtubes. And yeah, I know that they can trap light. But I know like the tubes are the same principle as the wings, like on flies and dragonflies and things like that. How they can bounce like a rainbow of colors back. It's the little tubes, and the light bounces off the inside the tubes like that. Oh, he's saying it's a new paint that absorbs 99% of light. Oof. No, I've not seen that. Is it the new black? Blacker than black? No. I've not seen it. That's pretty metal. Metal! Anyway. It's Spanier. Yeah, the new color is developed from scientists. Can't type right now for some reason. More coffee. Yeah. Oh, wrong mouse. Okay, so let's do an email because we can. This is from Parker Gray. Hey, Kris. I've been working on Chaos Army for a few weeks now. Really enjoyed the colors and the detail on the models. Appreciate any help you have given. Keep up your amazing work. And again, thank you. And so here is his work. Let's have a peek. Holy man. And I really dig the color scheme. Oh, I like all the work he did in the eyeballs there. That's really good. That's good stuff. I take it he's magnetized. That's why there's some arms laying on the ground beside him, I guess. Can I zoom in here? Oh, wrong window. Can I zoom in here? Holy man, I can zoom in. Yeah, I really like those eyeballs. I like the transition you got going on in the armor plates. I think being mindful to pick out the details like these little couplings, just so they don't see like this overspill of color. It just looks like, it's rather incomplete kind of thing. There's something to be mindful of. Like the base, the green of the base. That's very cool. Yeah. Like a little bit of yellow in the horns there. It gets a little bit more separation in those things. That's very cool. Here he is with his arms. Scary. Scary. Now, one minor thing. When you're doing miniatures, are you using like a camera, or are you using like a cell phone? It almost looks like you got like a pretty good setup going on here, and I'm going to assume you're using a camera. When you're taking miniature pictures, be sure to set your camera up on a tripod and open your f-stop way up. Go up your f-stops. Take it to like about 11 to 20. Take it way, way up, and then find like the mid focal point and just focus on that, and that'll clear up some of this, like, how you because see how short your depth of field is? It's really, really short. See how the shoulder pad is in focus, but like the arm is not? That's because your f-stop is too low. You gotta turn that f-stop up. So, Parker Gray. Just a little bit of photography help for you there, buddy. Oh, really nice work. I like this. The eyes are the first thing that jump out at me. Again, I always mention like the face, kind of always grabs you. And the blue in the eyes with the greeny yellow I'm seeing is just really, really nice. I really like that blue. Man, I would have kept that blue going on the guns, I think. The purple looks cool, don't get me wrong. The purple looks good. Because it plays nicely with the yellow on the armor. But yeah, I think that blue would have looked cool too. Yeah. Yeah. My God. Very, very nice though. I like Eat Plague Brains. Oh man, what's this thing? The Fiend. Now, are you using an airbrush? Because it looks like a brighter tone and a slightly different color tone. Or are you doing like the primer thing? So I'm going to have to assume with these color transitions within the yellow I'm seeing, that's done by brush, or by airbrush, and then you're coming in by hand and doing in the gold and things like that. Didn't I see you in here today? I thought I'd seen your name in here today, Parker. But anyway. Yeah, it looks really good. I like it. It's nice and clean and neat. Really good stuff. Yeah, I like the exhaust. Very interesting idea for the bases too. Kind of give it that crackling while that liquid, or having kind of this liquidy kind of look to it. Very interesting, kind of like some sort of corrosion or something. but very, very cool. Nice and neat. That's what I like. Nice and neat. Nurgle, though. Nurgle kind of like orcs. You know, you can... oh, is that it? Oh, that was it. Oh, that was it. I wanted more. Nurgle, like orcs, you can paint them up neatly. You can paint them up like a mess in a hurry, and they still look really good. Which is kind of a fun thing about, you know, Nurgle and orcs. Who else is kind of like that? And Necron's kind of, I suppose, maybe a little bit, but not really. Sorry, I'm just moving my chat window around here a bit. Yeah, all the green on the skin was done by airbrush. Okay, very cool. Yeah, no, that's awesome. Looks good. I like it. Nice and clean. The first character model, the chosen dude or whatever it was, with that blue in the eyes, that looked really, really awesome. And it's really, it'd be cool to see that level of blue elsewhere on the model, like the little power couplings or like a gemstone or, you know, something along those lines. Either way, it just looks really, really cool. And so thank you for sharing that with us. Again, Parker, I mean, the painting is nice and neat, you know. I see like a lot of reliance on the shade washes, and you at some point may want to, you know, kind of slowly wean yourself off, you know, using a lot of shade washes to achieve a lot of your effects, and, you know, going in and doing it deliberately or building the color from its darkest colors and building it up itself without using any shade washes, you know. Because I find that when people really rely on the shade washes to achieve a lot of their results, it just kind of makes for lazy painters. And, you know, if you really want to expand your abilities, yeah, start weaning yourself off of using, like, relying on shade washes. Don't get me wrong, they have their place, but, you know, they can make a painter lazy. So just be mindful of that. And of course, the photos, yeah, turn your f-stop up and you get sharper photos of your model. Parker Gray, I have a few more models done, and I'll send more photos later. Yeah, send more photos. I mean, I don't know what kind of camera you have, Parker, but if you can get into the manual controls and adjust your f-stop, yeah, bring it up. Because if you're down low, like in probably like 3.8 or 2.8 or no, it's probably or 4. It's probably that's too low. The depth of field is just like the camera's only focusing in on like this little slice of area, versus having the depth of field much more. And when we're taking pictures of miniatures, especially with miniatures like that have elements like moving forward and moving back, and you know what I mean, the camera can't capture all that, and so you have to open up that depth of field. But unfortunately, when you open up that depth of field, you also have to turn the shutter speed way down to the point where, you know, you pretty much just hold it and let it go kind of thing, right? And it's usually not that bad. You probably take it down to about a 20, I think, or maybe a 10. It's just going to be really, really long. But of course, you know, you have to, because I mean, so that the camera can capture all that depth. Anyway, African Wise Man, a little late, but it made it just in time to catch Kris doing his thing with all kinds of awesome sauce for his monkey minions. That's a mouthful. But thank you. Dr. Santos, hello monkeys. David Taylor. Paging David Taylor. Lazy Monkey, Dr. X, he called the lotion lube today. He admitted it. He tried to deny like a politician. I did not have relations with, yeah. I knew he'd slip up one day. David, Kris, can you do a quick tip on painting the Death Skulls icon? I need it for a Golden Demon entry. The Death Skulls icon. There's so many iterations of that. I'm not sure which one it is nowadays. Because I know, like, the Goth one was just like, you know, the orky face skull thing, but then that, you know, became the main, like, they kind of drifted away from the clans in orkiness, and it's all kind of just one kind of thing, or they're all kind of just, amalgamated into, you know, like one kind of orky kind of conglomerate of orkness. I don't even know what I'm talking about there, but they're just one thing now. It's not like before when you had clans like the Evil Sons. Like if you played Evil Sons orcs, then you had access to more vehicles and more mechs, right? Versus Bad Moons, where they had more teeth, so they're richer, so they had better gear, and things like that, right? They got rid of and so it's just a typical orc icon. Yeah, but I thought no, but see but no, I know there is a Death Skull, and I was pretty sure the Death Skull orc one was like the one with the horns. It's an orky head face shape, but it had horns. I think that's the Death Skull. Why it have horns, I have no idea, but Ishvan, episode 112, the lotion is a lie. Parker Gray, I feel like I have an egg on my face seeing as I am a professional photographer. Are you? You are a professional photographer? Well then, why am I telling you these things, man? It's just macro photography, dude, right? I mean, but yeah, I've been taking pictures of miniatures for a long time, and so yeah, I mean, like, just to eliminate that blurriness, you see, because it's all in the depth of field, right? So anyway, here I am telling Parker, and he's a damn professional photographer. Well, come on, man. Where am I? David Taylor, if I paint it blue, it'll be understandable. As the Death Skull? Sure. African Wise Man, it puts the lube on the skin. There is no lube. Perfect Sheep. It is not the lube that bends, only yourself. Dr. Santos, fun fact, 112 is the emergency number in Finland. Really? Here it's 911 is the emergency number. 112. Now what, okay, well in Finland, Dr. Santos, what is 911? Is that like the mayor's house or something? Barfing Sheep in Scandinavia. Misclick in Portugal too, actually. Ronnie Sugden. Hey Chris, what is a good base for painting a tank Fire Dragon Bright? I've been using Jokero Orange. Is that correct? For painting a tank Fire Dragon Bright. But you want to know what a good base is? A good base, Jokero Orange? Yeah, Jokero Orange would be good. In fact, yeah, Jokero. I don't have mine here. Yeah, I think because Joker Orange is the base, isn't it? And Fire Dragon Bright is very, very bright orange. Yeah, and I mean, like, unless you're, because, like, okay, if you want the tank to be very, very bright, like Fire Dragon Bright, then you're better off painting the model or priming the model white, and then putting the base coat down of Fire Dragon Bright, and then going in and then shading the panel lines, or creating the shadows that way. If you're using an airbrush, then just load it that way, and then you can also build your shadows downwards again afterwards. And then of course you could always come in with, say, Kindle Flame, or add a little bit of white to Fire Dragon Bright, and just do a quick little edge highlight, just along the top upper edges, or whichever way you're highlighting it. But otherwise, yeah, Joker Orange is good as a base tone, and then you can build your Fire Dragon Bright up and just kind of have that transition going on. But if you wanted the model to really be bright like Fire Dragon Bright, then I would recommend priming it white, and then laying your base color of Fire Dragon Bright right on top of the entire model. Just thin the paint down a little bit and build the layers up. And Yeah, you'll get there. It is kind of tough though, because you'll when you put like the first couple of layers down, you're gonna see that primer showing through, like the white showing through. But don't fret. It just takes a little bit, and just find yourself like a little 1 inch brush, hobby brush, and you just do the entire tank, and you can build your cup that way. David Taylor, Kris, Chinese proverb: if Kris says it is lube, then lube it is. Dr. Xantos, I don't think 911 is anywhere here. Oh, you don't use it at all? No? Dial it. Go ahead, dial it. Go ahead, see what happens. Dial it up. Converticus, anyone down with a St. Patty's mini challenge? Paint a model green really, really fast. Ronnie Sugden, the name butcher indeed. Was Sugden? No. Sugden? Is the G silent? It's Suden? I don't know. I'm sorry, I don't know. Yes, that's why I'm called the name butcher. Because I'm going to say it wrong. Guaranteed. Unless, of course, somebody's holding my hand and walks me through it the entire time, I'm going to mess it up. Oh, man. African wise men. In South Africa, the emergency number is, holy crap, 101111. Don't know why they thought so many numbers would be a good idea. Someone can easily mess that up in an emergency. But hey, yeah, somebody, or even somebody with Parkinson's, they can mess that up too. Because they're trying to dial their friend or child down 911 or long distance. They can ding, 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 you know what I mean? So, yeah, that's kind of, that's not a good emergency number, I don't think. Eric's coin, I am. Okay. Spite you, the Citadel poster says Jokero, then Fugan, Troll Slayer, then Fire Dragon. Troll Slayer? Yeah, you can also start off with Troll Slayer too, as your base as well. That's how I would go for it, but Kris is legend, so yeah. No, well, because it all depends, because you're building through a lot of colors there, and it's assuming that there's it's really not that big a surface. Now he was saying it was for a tank, so I'm going to assume like a rhino or a falcon or something like that, and if he wants it to be really, really bright, that's all. It all depends on if it's got to be bright. If it's got to be really, really bright, then I would start off with then Primate White, Fire Dragon Bright, or you can go with Fugan Orange, or not Fugan Orange, Troll Slayer, Troll Slayer Orange as the base, and then Fire Dragon Bright, and then just a little edge highlight. You can also go with that. Ronnie, okay, thanks, Kris. Maybe I can skip that step. Pictures to follow. Yes, please. Send pics. Send pics, please. Danish artist, Kris, have you seen the Space Crusade adventure game from Protos Games? Yes, I've seen something about that. That somebody was doing a Space Crusade game. But no, I haven't seen it because there's a lot of things that Protos has been doing these days, like the Alien vs Predator and something else. Protos has been doing. I can't remember now. But anyway, yeah, like they've been doing quite a while. Oh, what was it? Halo? Is that Halo I'm thinking of? Anyway. Yeah. Ronnie Sugden. I'm going to say it Sugden, but it's a hard G like slug. So it's Sugden. Don't everyone gets it wrong. Oh, okay. Sugden. Okay, well, what did I say? Slugden? No, Sugden. Sugden. Or Tourette's, yeah. David Taylor, don't you ever find a Joker to be a little desaturated? Yes, it is a little desaturated, but that's why you see in the chart it says to throw in the Fugan Orange, because the Fugan Orange will resaturate the Jokero. Just throw down Jokero and then Fugan, and you'll see how like that orange kind of just goes right back up. I'm not talking like just shellacking a big layer of Fugan Orange on, but I'm just nice little even layer on it, and you'll see it reinvigorates. Revibrates. I don't know where the hell I was going with that one. I don't know. We're still on emergency numbers here in Scandinavia and South Africa, and I don't know. Yogi KKK. Oh, it said KKK. Yogi K. Yogi K. Following some instructions from the internet, I have been painting metal elements on Space Marines with Lead Belcher, Null Oil, Ironbreaker, Runefang Steel. Can't see the difference between the last two. Ironbreaker and Runefang Steel, yeah, there's quite a bit of difference between how bright they are. Runefang Steel is very, very bright. Ironbreaker is fairly dull or dimmer. And yeah, if you're painting the details like or the metal elements on Space Marines, and you're going through that many processes, like say for example it's the bolt gun, yeah, you might not see all the steps. And in fact, you probably are better off going for say something like Lead Belcher, drop Null Oil if you can, use just Ironbreaker and just a teensy bit of Runefang Steel. So say for example like running along the bolt gun, it's Lead Belcher the entire way, and then just the uppermost portion of the barrel, you're doing it all Ironbreaker, and then just at the end of the barrel of the bolt gun, you're doing that just Runefang Steel. And that way you should see a bit of color variation and see some difference there. But between Runefang Steel and Ironbreaker, there is a difference between how much metal there is in that paint. But just lay them on your palette and just see how they compare it side by side, and you'll see how it is quite a bit brighter. Despite you, Runefang is barely brighter. Yeah, but it is brighter. It is noticeable. The way Yogi's initially describing it, I'm not sure if it's because he's laying too much down, like he's laying Ironbreaker and then he's laying too much Ironfang down. Whereas when you lay Ironbreaker, you lay because you go Lead Belcher, then you're hitting it with Null Oil, right? And you shade it. Then what ends up happening is Null Oil creates this matte finish over the metal, and you lose a lot of the luminosity of the metal. And so you can either come back in with some Lead Belcher and just kind of hide where just leaving just that pure black, but you can also just paint the area black first, then hit it with Lead Belcher, leaving black in those recesses, and then come in with Ironbreaker and just cover up halfway point, and then come in with Runefang Steel and just use it as you're finishing, just the tiny little areas that you need to be using it. It's more like at the corners and stuff like that, and it just kind of brings a real kind of brightness out. StarCraft, yeah, Protoss was going to do a StarCraft one. Yeah. Subasrez, he sounds like he sucked in. Sorry, I don't know what that meant. Anyway, Shio720. Hey Chris, how you doing? I'm back for some of that sweet Ojibwe delight. Okay. Danish Arts, Chris, you should check out Space Crusade, but do remember they had to make it different way to do GW. Wait, they had to do a different way from GW. Oh yeah, from because GW, the only things that were different in the original Space Crusade was like the Dreadnought, it was more like the robot really, and yeah, that was totally different from anything else Games Workshop was producing at the time. But I think the Space Marine Scouts were the same. Space Marines looked sort of the same. They look like stormtroopers with big long guns. I'm trying to think what else was in that original Space Crusade. There was a bunch of crap in it. It was pretty cool. I played Hero Quest, not Space Crusade. But yeah, I think really Protoss is kind of cashing in on this whole nostalgia phase, and everybody kind of, with specialist games coming out, everybody's figuring, well, we better snap up all these old IPs and stuff like that, while we still can, and before somebody revives them, or you lose out on the opportunity to cash in on some of this. Excuse me. Despite you, I still want the Kingdom Death game. Cannot afford it right now. I seen it. Leland had picked it up, and it was a big, hefty box and lots of stuff in it. I've kind of quickly watched a few demos on it, and it seems very interesting. The mechanics to it seem very interesting. But of course, the painter and model lover, the models are just awesome for that game. It's really, really detailed. Even just the playing pieces, there's tons of like details and bits to each of the little models. Like I thought that was just really really cool. Bum, 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 bum. Steam McDemon. No, I forgot you're already a DST over there. Thought it'd be 5 minutes early. Yeah, no, it's -5, -6 GMT. I think that's what it is. -5 or -6. I can't remember. I think it's -5. Because for me right now, it is 12:57 p.m. in the afternoon. And I think for in Europe, or well, in that GMT line at -5. Is it -? Yeah. I can't remember how the stupid thing goes. Anyway, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's -5, -6. Graham Collin. There's a name I haven't read in a bit. Is it me, or does Led Belcher sound like blue B-list bluesman? Yeah. Because there was Lead Belly, right? Led Belcher and Lead Belly. Lead Belly, he was a bluesman. Spite you, but hey, a giant booby monster would look boss on my shelf. Specifically, if I did it half Nurgle, half Slaanesh. Oof, that's quite the combo. Quite the combo color scheme there. It'd be very nice, with the light greens and the purples. That'd be a very nice color scheme. But yeah, doing it up like Nurgle, like the greens are kind of sickly and everything like that, and the purples are really kind of bright and vibrant, and yeah, be different. Barfing Sheep is -6. Yeah, it's -6. That's what I am. Okay, I'm -6 then. GMT. Lazy Monkey. Almost half hour already. Almost an hour in already. Time for another email. Yeah, Mr. Smarty Pants. I already got another one lined up here. I'm on the go. I got it ready. I'm just, we've been talking booby monsters here and stuff like that, and lube. Booby monsters and lube. Yeah, I better do another email. This is from Big Star Wars Fan 10. Hey Kris, recently started a commission painting studio and wanted to get some feedback on my latest work. Being in high school, I seem to find it hard to get people to take me seriously as a commission painter. Hopefully you can give me some input and help me improve my painting quality. Thanks, Shane. Here's a shameless plug of my Facebook page if anybody wants to give me a like. And his Facebook page is, what is it? Pile Driver Painting Studio. Pile Driver Painting Studio. So I'll just leave that up on the screen there for just a moment. Pile Driver Painting Studio. How are you pile driving somebody while you're painting? Or am I misinterpreting pile driving? I don't know, because it wasn't pile driver like in wrestling. Anyway, here are some of his work, and seems very clean. I said I'm going to assume this was a commission for somebody. Very interesting. I think with just a base tone and just one highlight, I think you could have went with a shade, because it looks like you went with a shade wash here up on the helmet. But you could have went with a shade on the armor. You could have went and came in here with Cardboard Crimson or Druchii Violet or Agraxor shade, and give it some nice deep tones to play with, and then throw that red highlight in there. But otherwise, it's pretty neat. It's clean. I like you got the unifying colors of the gun and the eye. I like that. Very interesting. Pile Driver Painting Studio. Okay, that's Shane, his name is. As far as, getting somebody to take you seriously, well, it's really your work, and it's your work ethic. And the work ethic being, for example, if somebody gave you, they handed you this box of warriors, and they said, okay, here you go. Could it get done in, say, 2 weeks? and you got it to this level in 2 weeks, and you charged, an appropriate amount of money, not too low, but not too high, because you are just starting out, and you're just trying to make a name for yourself. And and your customer looks at it and goes, "This is awesome, this is great," and says, "Here's another box, do that one." And your customers pay promptly, then, and are happy with your work, then that's all that really matters. As a commission painter, you are only concerned with what your customers are happy with. That's first and foremost. But yeah, the red definitely could use a shade wash, or go up another highlight. But again, if this is what the customer wanted, the customer said, no, I want a base of Mephiston Red with an edge highlight of Evil Sun Scarlet, and that's it, then that's all it is, right? And if that's what the customer wanted, then that's what the customer wanted, and you gave them what they wanted. And that's what's important. Of course, making a name for yourself is kind of tough. If there's local painting competitions or anything like that, definitely put your name out there. Even if you don't win, it doesn't matter, because when they're reading off who's participating, whatever, you say, well, this is from Pile Driver Painting Studio, and things like that, and just get your name out there. If you're in a big town, you're gonna have to probably go wide and far within your town to get your name out there. But it's not going to happen overnight. And commission painting is truly a labor of love. I did it for a short time in my life, not very long, mainly because I get bored, and I want to go into other things, do other things, and painting 100 space marines, that just irks me. Just thinking about it, I'm getting itchy right now thinking about it. Just 100 space marines. Are you that's not happening. It's not happening. This just makes me want to crawl into a corner and cry, and just kind of suck my thumb and just no, I don't want to paint all that. Even with the airbrush, right? Oh, that's another thing. If you've got an airbrush, because if you're going to be a commission painter, you got to get on that airbrush. And so I definitely would recommend that if you're just starting out and you don't have an airbrush, then save your pennies off your first couple jobs and get yourself an airbrush. Because it'll save you more time. And I don't know if it'll save you money. It'll probably save you maybe a bit of money, but it'll save you time. And if you can turn around, your commissions really, really fast, that's all the better. Because if you get your work done fast and it's done with the level of what your customer wants, and your customer is super happy, that's all that matters. Because your customer is super happy, he's going to say, yeah, I go to this guy, he paints my stuff really, really fast, and it's really, really awesome. And, he does it for a fair price, and, that's all that matters. Where are we in the comments? Africa Wise Man, pile drive someone onto your minis. Only the unbroken ones are worthy. Spite you. Hey, if my client is telling me what paints to use and junk, I'd give him that look. Well, no, but because there's some people out there who maybe they started painting their army, or they got somebody else to paint their army, but they got the recipe off them of what colors they used, and so they want the army to stay the same. They just never got around to getting or they got new models, or something like that, and so they want the models to color match. They want the models to look the same as the ones that got done years ago, right? And so your customer is going to come in and tell you what colors they want, and it's what the customer wants, and you as the supplier of a service have to abide. Unless you don't want to serve that person, then don't. That's always your choice too. But it's not the best way to get customers and get repeat business, as well as getting new customers. Lazy Monkey. I like the helmets, but the little black out in the places hand holding the gun. The first pick for commission work might not be ideal. No, but again, it's really what the customer wants, right? If the customer only wanted the box to be assembled and base colored, the box is going to get assembled and base colored, and that's it, right? It's what the customer pays for, and if the customer gets what they wanted and what they paid for in a reasonable amount of time, then everybody should be happy, and everybody should be able to profit from such arrangements. Lord Krabby, paid jobs are hard. Yes, they are. African wise man at spite customers always right. They're paying for it, and they tell you to paint it with the blood of 100 kittens, and you turn it down. The job or nod with a smile might suck sometimes, but such is the things. Yes, exactly. You can tell them to take a walk, but that's not how you're going to get repeat business. That's not how you're going to drum up new customers, because that person might know a lot of people who get models painted, and you go, I went to this guy and he told me to suck it, and I said, okay, well, I'm not going to you, I'm going to go to somebody else, and so I would not recommend him, and you know what I mean, and so, yeah. David Taylor, I don't think I'd use a painter if I can pick the paints to use. Wait, what? I don't think I'd use a painter if I can't pick what paints to use. Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah. No. Yeah, because the commission painter, that's the whole point of commission painter is you know what you want. It's just you don't have the time to get it done. So you go to somebody and commission them to finish what you started. It's like me going to a commission artist and saying, I want all my Samhan to look like how I painted my Samhan. Can you paint to that level? Yeah? Okay, then paint everything else to that level. Get it done. Right? And if it wasn't exactly how I wanted, then I would not be a happy customer. Random Mob. I'm currently painting the Chase set from GW. I quite enjoy the things like this they make. Cool. Spite you at Kris. See, exactly. Seems like a paint it yourself kind of situation. I'd never enjoy that. No, exactly. And nobody does. And and the thing is commission painting. Commission painting is such a hard game to get into. And the thing is like so many painters lowball each other all the time, everywhere you go. Commission painters are all lowballing each other, and I guess it's kind of like like construction companies, bidding for a city contract, right? And everybody's lowballing each other for that contract because the person paying for the job doesn't want to spend too much money, and anybody who has the skills to do this, they need money. So it's just unfortunate that oftentimes commission painters, they're always lowballing each other. Like, get this done for $20. Well, I'll get it done for $18.50 plus this. I'll get it done for $15 plus this, and I'll give you this. And like all these kinds of things. And it's unfortunate because really a lot of commission painters aren't being paid what their time's worth. That's unfortunate. They're not being paid what their time is worth. Okay, like even if their time was worth minimum wage, okay, whatever country you're in, whatever the minimum wage is there, okay, at the very least, that's what you as a potential customer of commission painting, that's really where you should expect that price point be, is per hour, that minimum wage kind of thing, and yeah, Because otherwise, what's the point for the commission painter other than to do it on the side? And there's not much enthusiasm there. Whereas if somebody who's hungry and who's literally hungry, they're going to get that job done because they want more commission works because they got bills to pay, right? And yeah, so I know it's tough game. Despite you, suck it. Lord Krabby, I paint for friends as a favor, but I do my absolute best, even for my rep. like pro painters on eBay. Pro painters on eBay. That's another one. I went off on a tangent one time before on pro painters. Um, you know, it's kind of like when you watching a video on YouTube and it says it's HD and it's not HD, right? So why do they put HD in the box if it's not HD? Because it's not HD. That's why. Just to get you to click it, and that's why Pro Painter it's in there because it's not pro painted. They just want you to click it and look at it, you know? And so, yeah. Lazy monkey. That's why I don't use commission painters because I can't afford to pay what it's worth for my hobby. I have more time than money, so do it myself. Yes, exactly. And really, that's the thing. Is like there's a lot of guys out there and girls, I suppose, who do this just for a hobby. Right? This is just for giggles. Sit down, hour or two a week, chill out. You know, reconnect, and you know, just basically recharge session from their busy, hectic lives. We're doing whatever it is, you know, the jobs, whatever, family life, whatever, right? It's their time away to recharge. And for most people, that's what this hobby is. Some people want to be able to turn it into, you know, a business that, you know, you can, you can pay your bills and, you know, that scared the crap out of me. Yeah, and to pay the bills and stuff like that. And that is very, very rare. Case in point, right? Myself. This is very, very rare. Where I'm sitting is a very rare position. And it seems like there's a lot of people out there that, you know, want to be right where I'm sitting. And it's not easy. It's not easy. This is kind of lightning in a bottle kind of thing. Because this market is so small and you have so many people, you know, trying to vie for these positions that, you know, it's not everybody's going to get them. Not everybody's going to be in that position to, you know, enjoy, you know, the exposure or, you know, whatever, just having so many people, you know, support you, right? I mean, with the advent of Patreon now, you know, I mean, it's not too difficult. But, you know, nobody's going to get rich at this game. Nobody. Not us. Not nobody. Oh, where am I? Jim White. Kris, are you still free from smoking? Yes, I am still free from smoking. I don't even know what week I'm on now. I've lost count. It's been since mid-January that I've stopped. So 2 months almost? Over 2 months? Either way, yeah. But I still need to get my old lungs and heart pumping, though. I got to start getting some cardio going in my life. Because right now I got zero activity going on. I just come to work, paint, go home, come to work, paint, go home, and like I don't have any exercising. And yeah, old Kris has got to get some exercise in because, you know. Got it. John Doe, the same reason that they're guaranteed on the box to sell you a guaranteed piece of crap. Sure. David Taylor, plus I enjoy painting. Yes. Should always enjoy painting. African Wise Man at Kris, since your show last week, I haven't bought a box of cancer sticks. Got myself a bag of rolling tobacco for really hard times, but so far haven't felt the need for it yet. Well, if you've already gone a week, then that actual physical need for nicotine is like almost completely gone, right? That's what they say. It only takes a week for your body to, you know, to flush whatever nicotine's in it out. And what it is from this point forward is finding a new habit, finding something else to occupy that time. And for me, it was really, really hard because, like, for example, I'd be sitting there, I'd get a base coat done, and then I'd give a shade wash to the entire miniature, and I'd usually go head out and have a cigarette. And now, I mean, what do I do, right? I sit here, I sit on the computer, You know, I check mail or do something, or you know, check my Clash of Clans or something like that, right? And you know, I just occupy the time with something else. Is what I'm trying to get at though is you gotta create a new habit. That's smoking, because smoking was a habit. The time that smoking took up in your life, you got to fill that with something else now, and you got to find something else. And that's the hard part. And that's why a lot of people lapse. I've lapsed, and you know, how come I can't move? And yeah, so, but keep at it, man. If that's what you really want, keep at it. I mean, don't get me wrong. I miss the buggers. I miss them. I love them. There's nothing more I loved. Okay, this is Kris's vibe. At the end of the day, okay, coming home, like being here in the office, painting all day, I'd go home, I'd crack a beer and a cigarette, sit on my back deck, and just chill out. Just chill. That's it. You know, because again, painting used to be my hobby and a way to, you know, zero and center myself. Now, no, it's other stuff that takes that place. Movies and, you know, those things have kind of become my hobby. And because painting used to be my hobby, but now painting is my job. And yeah. Anyway, what were we talking about? McWhiskey, now I want a cigarette. Yeah, exactly. Base coat, shade wash, cig. That sounds about right. Yeah, exactly. You know, come back, do a little bit more highlighting. Okay, I gotta wait for this layer to dry. Hit for smoke. You know, yeah. Oh man. Anyway, Ishab, Kris, for good quality cardio activity, start coming down to semi-weekend volleyball. Oh, the C4 New York. Yeah, I'll be right there. P.S. It's good cardio workouts. I'm sure. You know, like right now, I'd probably keel over and like all blue if I tried. I gotta slowly build into it, man. Slowly. It's like an old man easing his way into a bathtub. Just you gotta go slow. Thomas Huntley. Hi, Kris. I'm looking to use pigments for dust effect, etc. You said you use isopropyl alcohol. Can that potentially remove the paint, or is that only if I soak it? If you soak it, yes, it will. I've often used isopropyl alcohol for the pigments, but most of the time, like I've used it a few times, most of them though, I use mineral spirits to set pigments on the miniature. But even mineral spirits can peel that paint off. And if you're familiar with any of the videos I've shown, you'll see, like, say for example, this area is where I've laid the pigments out. I'll just touch the area, and this works both for isopropyl and mineral spirits. I'll just touch the area with the brush, like I'll load the brush up with a bit of mineral spirits, and I'll just tap it and let it bleed across and let it set. And then I'll touch another area and let it bleed and let it set. There's no actual like brushing of the mineral spirits or alcohol. It's usually just touching the area and just letting it bleed and then letting it dry. As long as you don't disturb it, everything should be fine. But yeah, there is that potential of peeling a layer or two off of the model. Good question, Thomas. Yeah, so it's very, very gentle, and yeah, and that's why when I do it, I just touch just the areas, like just in the corners, like where the pigment is building, and I'll just touch it, and I'll let the mineral spirits and ink or isopropyl alcohol just bleed through and just let it creep through the pigment. And yeah, you know what I mean. Once you start doing it, you'll see what I mean. Like it's just kind of like ink on paper. It'll just kind of bleed through the paper like that, and that's what you're looking for. David Taylor, do you wear a monocle? Do I wear a monocle? No, I wear glasses. That would have been obvious by now. Yogi, smoking takes like 20% of the time and painting. Yeah, and that's the thing, man. You gotta, and your fingers all smell. Like one of the worst things is coming back from a cigarette and like I was taking like silly putty and I was masking off a model and the silly putty and the smell of that nicotine on your fingers mixes and that smells like crap. Or another one is green stuff. I was mixing green stuff and I had it in my hand, and I had recently gone for a cigarette, and it was like in there, and the green stuff I could smell the nicotine in the green stuff, and I was like, no, icky poo, no. David Taylor, if you ran to New York once a week, you'd be fit in no time. Yeah, exactly. Look like Forrest Gump running there, big long beard, turn around, come back. I actually don't run like this. That's like a Mr. Burns kind of thing. I don't actually do that. Thomas Henley. Cheers, Kris. I'll buy some now. Yeah. Isopropyl alcohol is fine, but again, mineral spirits. I prefer mineral spirits. I'm not sure why. Just because it's just the way it flows on the model. Isopropyl seems to kind of just seems too fast on the surface, whereas mineral spirits, it seems a little thicker. And, you know, I just had a lot of success with mineral spirits. So, yeah. Spike to you, Ed Kris. Have you seen people doing pin washing, where you use a super thin wash and do that tapping or touching you speak of, and it bleeds into the recess? Looks amazing. Yes. Pin washing? Yes. Oftentimes, pin washing is associated with oil washing as well. And you just simply take the thinned out oil paint, apply it on the model, and then wipe it excess away, leaving just those little lines inside the panel lines and stuff like that. And, you know, yeah. But, yes, pin washing, yeah, I'm familiar with that as well. For a long time, Citadel black ink, the old Citadel black ink, it used to do that just fine. Like on my other grav tanks, I could just touch the corner of the grav tank, and it would just hit the panels, and it would just go like that, and touch the other one, and I used to do that just really easily. Now, not so much. Now the formula is thicker, and it creeps way better, but it doesn't have the same dark quality to it. Old Citadel black ink was black, whereas non-oil is not as black. It's a little hazy. Man. Wargaming Monkey just started to build a Polar Light Starship Enterprise, a 1/350 scale. Is big glad it's only Constellation refit, not the Galaxy class. Ha ha ha. Very cool. Send pics. I like Star Trek models too, especially when you do the Polar Light stuff. I still have yet to start on my Millennium Falcon. You can barely see the box right over here. I haven't even touched my Millennium Falcon yet. And, yeah. Because I've got the lights for it, and the back end will light up and everything. Let's do an email, because I grabbed the wrong mouse. No, let's do an email. That was the one we already did. Let's do another email. Let's do this one. This is from Gareth Thomas Lord. Hi, Kris. A quick work in progress on my Wolf Termes. I've started with Wazdaka Red, and I will go from there. Sorry, the pick is a bit poor. Poor? And he started off with Wazdaka Red. And I think when we were talking about this last show, because this was last show, I think it was last show, he was asking about his the pre-heresy Space Wolves. And yeah, I was recommending not going with a really saturated red, but more of a desaturated red, like Wazdaka and Corn Red. So, yeah. I like it. Are you going to give him a little shade wash or no? I don't know if you are a Vault member, but really quickly, for the pre-heresy wolves, I did them in, is this Mechanicus gray or is this Eshin gray? I think this is Mechanicus. Anyway, I did not give them a wash of non-oil. I gave them a wash of, what was it? Dracoff Nightshade mixed with Agrax? Yeah, I think it was Draconoff and Agrax. I think in a roughly 1-to-1. I I think is what I did. Thinned out with medium afterwards, just so that the shade wash just went into the recesses and did not tint the armor too much. But otherwise, yeah. But very cool. I think the red, the Wazdaka red, works really well with the armor. You probably could have went with corn red as well, and then highlighted with Wazdaka, just so you had your darker color sitting in there already. So that you didn't bother, so you didn't have to bother with any kind of shade wash or anything like that. But otherwise, yeah, it looks great. Send me another pic when you're further along, and yeah. Did I use that color red on the Space Wolf? I can't remember. I don't remember. Despite you, at Kris, that's where I saw the pin washing. Was Dr. Foss did it for the Falcon. Yeah. There's a few videos on that Falcon from Bandai, and I found them all very inspirational. They make me want to just kind of sit down and get working at it. The amount of pieces, though, I think what it is I'm a little bit intimidated by the amount of pieces that are in this Falcon, the Millennium Falcon kit. I think that's what it is. That's why I haven't dived right in yet, because I mean, like the crew, like Ray and Finn, they're like this big. They're like epic scale, like old epic scale. If anybody old cats out there remember epic scale, they're like that big. Like they're just tiny in the cockpit, and so like BB-8 and R2, they're just like little specks, like the head of a pin. They're just tiny. Where am I? Don't know. Garrett Thomas Lord. Oh, it's Mechanicus standard, and I'm waiting to get the colors used in the quick tip video. Oh, okay, yeah. So, you are a Vault member, Garrett? Then great. And you've probably already seen how I did the pre-heresy or Horus Heresy Space Wolves, and that one I kind of made up because the forgeable one doesn't really say, other than like the colors used, because like the post heresy they have this blue gray to them, right? But the pre heresy, they're proper gray, like they're a proper gray. But I used Drakenhof Nightshade, and I'm pretty sure it was Agrax. It might have been non-loyal, but I'm pretty sure it was Agrax because I wanted a bit of bring a bit of warmth into it, and I thinned them down with Lemaine medium before applying it to the miniature, because I did not want big pools on the armor surfaces. I just wanted only it to appear in the recesses, and just a little bit of tinting here and there. Otherwise, I didn't really want it to be overbearing on the miniature. But so very good. Yeah, it is Mechanicus. Okay, yeah, because Escher Gray is just a little too dark to start with. I mean, you could start from Escher Gray, but no, I wouldn't. Wargaming Monkey, don't blame you, Kris. This kit is a nightmare. Well, what intimidates me about the Millennium Falcon from Bandai is all the little hydraulic things on the back of the engine. There's like a bazillion of them. I gotta go back there, and it's like, oh my god, like I gotta glue all these little things on, and like all the little details. It's just like it's a fantastic kit. It's so much detail, but I gotta get hyped up to handle that much detail. And plus too, like they're so small and fiddly and delicate, and I'm almost afraid of snapping them. And I know I've been doing this stuff for years, but sometimes I still get nervous looking at some kits, and I'm like, ew, I don't know if I want to handle that. I don't know if I'm man enough for that. But that's probably when I slap on my Way of the Brush t-shirt, and then I feel manly again, and then I get to work. Oh, man. Danish artist. Kris, just see it this way. Even Han Solo didn't know where everything goes or should be. Yeah, exactly. That's one of my favorite scenes in Empire Strikes Back, is the battle's already begun on Hoth. Like in the beginning of the movie, the battle's already begun, and the rebels are already trying to fight off the Imperials. And Han Solo and Chewbacca are still dicking around on the Millennium Falcon, trying to get things to work right. And you know what I mean? Like it's like literally down to the wire, trying to get out of a situation. You're still trying to work on something, and there's Imperial soldiers all over the place. That you're under attack, and he's still trying to fix his ship. It just always strikes me as one of the funniest things in that movie because it's a very it's just a very kind of Han Solo kind of thing to be stuck trying to fix your ship while the entire place is falling apart, and you're under an invasion and you got to get out of there, and you got your buddy in the cockpit, and he's panicking because you're trying to hurry up and get out of there, and he's giving him crap the entire time. He's like, no, turn it off. It's like it's just funny. It's just one of those, it's probably why Empire Strikes Back is like my favorite film. It's the best Star Wars. Anyway. Converticus at Kris, showcasing starter kit models, yay or nay, based on quality of the cast. Showcasing starter kit models, yay or nay? Sure, yeah, why not? Anything can be showcased. Any paint job that you're proud of, showcase it. Don't be shy. If you're proud of your work and people are impressed by it, feel free to display it and showcase it, build a stand for it, and, feel free, man. Feel free. Do it. Send me pictures, what you're talking about, because, I'd like to know. John Doe, nice plug. Johnny Wraith. Anyway, Kris, I'm done hijacking your chat room. Hello to you, sir. Hello, Johnny Wraith. Hijacking the chat room. I don't even know what you guys were talking about. I was lost into that, so I kind of just blew past it because I didn't really quite follow what was going on there, and so without me sounding too stupid, I ignored it all. Yogi, should I paint Abaddon black on Chaos black spray or just leave the spray? Definitely put a base coat of Abaddon black. So, for example, if your Space Marines are going to be black like Raven Guard or something like that, and you prime them black, give them a black base coat. Now, thin your paints down, of course, and apply one or two thin layers. You don't have to worry, because again, because when you put down just the primer, okay, on the model, let's say, for example, here, let's use the Raven Guard as our example. If you just sprayed primed the model, okay, bang, it's Citadel black. We sprayed all these guys up. Then we've gone in and we begin edge highlighting, right? Okay, we're not going to put down a base color. We're just going to jump right into the highlighting because we don't need the shade because it's freaking black, right? So we edge highlight all the areas, and we put in the details, and we paint the eyeballs, and now we're going to get ready to put on transfers. Okay, we're going to put on transfers onto this model. Well, guess what's not going to stick to the model? Yes, that's right, transfers. Why? Because that primer, it sits like a layer. Like if you were to look at it like under a microscope, it's like a shag carpet. Okay, it's like a shaggy carpet. It's just like hairs. It's like these structures standing up, and transfers or decals like to sit flat on a surface like glass. And if you're ever going to do decals, you always give like a gloss varnish, put your decal down, and then you can always do a matte varnish, and then that in fact hides the decal, hides the edges and stuff like that. But anyway, I keep hitting that, jeez. And so if you were highlighting and began to dry brush, okay, you're already immediately going to see a real chalky finish to the dry brush, because again, primer has a very fuzzy surface to it. It's not smooth. It's not matte. It's not. It's not even. It's not even matte. It's shaggier. I don't know how to describe it. It's like it's more fuzzier than matte. It's fuzzier than matte. That doesn't make sense. it just creates too much surface. And that's really all primer is for, is to create surface. So to answer your question, yes, Yogi, put down a layer of Abaddon Black. Because again, it's going to give you a smooth finish on the model. If you're going to put transfers or decals on the model, they're going to adhere better. If you're dry brushing your highlights or anything like that, they're going to lay out better onto the model. They're not going to get quite as chalky, quick as it would if it was a primer. But of course, that does depend on you laying out a couple smooth layers of color, to get it nice and smooth. And that, of course, requires you to thin down your paint and alternate your brush strokes, right? I've said that many times. I'll probably say it a few more times too. Okay, people. Yeah, Jim White. Okay, people, what should the name of the show be? I don't even know what the name of the show should be. Show should be? Jeez. What time are we at? Holy crap, we're almost 20 minutes done. So, David Taylor, honestly, the miniature company as a whole is pretty good at judging stuff based on painter merits, not the bar as a whole. Oh, okay, might be part of the conversation I missed. African Wiseman, that's how Kris says too long didn't read. Yeah, exactly. Too long didn't read. Stephen Rogers, hey Kris, I was just in your area. Dad lives in Virgil, saw a hockey game in Buffalo, only there one night, could not stop by and game. That's too bad. Maybe next time. But yeah, next time you're in the area, please stop by and just, say, hey, it's me, so and so. I go by, so and so, and let's throw down. And yeah, of course, you get better response if you email us and schedule the game. If you know exactly what days you're going to be around, then yeah, definitely. Johnny Ray, Kris getting too excited talking about primer that he keeps knocking the mic. Yeah, well, because priming is such an important thing. Priming is such an important issue. And it's where so many people go wrong right from the start. Priming is where it begins, and that's where most people go wrong right from the start. So it's very important to get priming down very good, to be very good at it very quickly. Zach W. at Kris, can you recommend some brushes for detail work? I'm really good at base coating, but those pesky eyeballs give me trouble. Keep up the great work, man. You're a huge inspiration. Well, thank you. Zach, brushes, if you're using Citadel brushes already, there's nothing wrong with the fine detail brush. I do that for eyeballs all the time. For a while, I was using my Winsor Newtons to do eyeballs, but I found with the Citadel brush, I can do the eyeballs almost as equally as well. And so, yeah, if you're using Citadel brushes, continue to use Citadel brushes. Buy them. They're not bad. People poo-poo them all the time. And yes, sometimes you do get a brush that's kind of wonky or the hairs are already displaced and is brand new. And you know what I mean? You just return it and get another brush. I mean, that's all you got to do. I've heard good things about Raphael. I've heard good things about Da Vinci brushes. Winsor Newton Series 7 miniature. That's often what we use. There's two Series 7s. There's ones that are more for watercolor, where they have a longer bristle to them, and then there's Series 7, but then there's Series 7 miniature, and Series 7 miniature has got shorter bristles, and that's really good for fine work that we do. Don't get me wrong, the longer bristles work really well as well, but get them both. But they're expensive. They're gonna cost you a pretty penny. So. Yeah. Again, it's just really whatever brushes work for you. I mean, I poo-poo on synthetic brushes all the time, but I've seen a lot of artists do really great things with synthetics. So, it's all personal preference. All right, what are we looking at here? Show name: Steve McDemon, episode 112. Shoshub. What the hell does that mean? Shoshub. Episode 112. What is your emergency? Converticus Shoshobi. Okay, what's Shoshobi? I don't understand. Because is that what Steam was talking about? John Doe painting black with lube. But McWhiskey lubing the baby monster with smoke-free moisturizer. I'm not sure where you go with that one. Lube the finest black. Lazy Monkey, keep the smoke out of the green stuff. I Yogi, thanks for your advice, Kris. I'm sure my Raven Guard will benefit from the show. I'll check RG videos in the Mini Wargaming Vault you mentioned too, so see you there. Cool, very good. David Taylor, you get bad brushes from every company. At least GW will replace the bad brushes, no question. Yes, exactly. And you know what? And yeah, that's you know, because they know they sell so much crap that okay, you just give it back and here, take this, and because they already know they're charging a premium price for their crap. So yeah. Steven Rogers started working on Nurgle Demons. First airbrushed army, primed black, base Vallejo, air burnt umber, GW drab, GW death force, then earth shade. I want yellow eyes. Should gets yellow be the go-to? Flash gets yellow. Should Flash gets yellow be the go-to for that? Yeah, you can. I mean, with so many deep tones you got going on there, I mean, you could probably start off with Uriel yellow or even Everland sunset, and then just highlight it with Uriel yellow or Flash gets. Or unless, of course, you're going to start off with white and then Flash gets. Yeah. Flash gets is pretty bright, though. I would go with Uriel yellow. But then again, I don't know. Because if you do any of the zits or the pustules on the Nurgle guys, I always do them kind of Everland with a little bit of Uriel just at the top, and that gives it kind of that, you know, that pimple like quality to it. And then of course I always ring it with Cardboard Crimson just to give it that irritated kind of look, and then it looks like something, you know, it's ready to, like, you know, bust. I know it's quite gross. Man, that's why I love Nurgle, man, though, because it's freaking gross. Clayton Tate 112. The nicotine is in the green stuff. 112. So long to stinky fingers. I like that right there. You know what? That right there is the reason to quit smoking. That is the reason to quit smoking right there. Say goodbye to stinky fingers. Excellent. 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 Thank you, Lazy Monkey, for helping us sort that out, because, yeah, that's a good one. So long to stinky fingers. Because that is the one reason why you should not take up smoking. For any of you younger viewers out there who've not touched a cigarette in your life, stay that way. Don't. There's nothing cool or fun about it. And for all you who are still smoking out there, I think it's a good reason to stop, because, man, like my fingers, they smell so good. Have a sniff. Go ahead, smell my finger. And of course, you can say that joke all day long, and it's not going to offend anybody, because your fingers are going to smell nice, as long as, of course, you wash your hands once in a while. But, you know, it's not too gross, because, you know, somebody who smokes, yeah, you smell their fingers, like, oh crap. And of course, and the one thing that I never got, like, I've smoked since I was young, but the thing I never got was like the nicotine fingers, like the browning of the fingers. I never got that. I kind of got it one time at my thumb. But it was because of the way I was smoking at the time, like I was holding a cigarette, and yeah. So, anyway, you win a cigarette. Johnny, you're evil, man. I think you might be more evil than me, dude. David Taylor, Kris sniffing fingers. Chris's fingers. Sniff Chris's fingers. Yeah, sometimes this show we just end up just sniffing, right? We just end up just kind of sniffing stuff. Oh man, I don't know where we can go from here. Let's do an email. This is from our buddy Adam over at Greenleaf Terrain. Hi, Kris. You so pretty. Here's a pick of some terrain. Critique me. Okay, so this is Adam's work. Now this, under the right lighting, okay, Adam, this would be awesome if you shot this in black and white, because this would look like some World War II bombed out, city in Europe kind of thing. It could either be England or it could be Berlin, or who knows, right? But that's what this looks like right here. Like if you just had the lighting, excuse me, from one way, and of course you photoshopped in some smoke and stuff like that. But otherwise, it looks really good. It looks pretty consistent with the pieces that you've done for the studio before. There's a little sandbag up there. It's cool. I think with the bullet holes, creating the texture of bullet holes and stuff, I think you can lay them out more logically. Like here, I'm looking at this wall, and they seem to be kind of just like evenly stitched across the wall, like it's kind of tat 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 tat, like it was a typewriter that was sending those bullets across. And like war zones don't quite look like that. There's more bullets around the windows, right? Doorways, things like that, like where people are, where people were firing from. You're gonna get a more collection of bullets, bullet impacts at those points. I think so. Yeah. Otherwise, oh crap. Okay, next picture. Oh, look at this. See, dude, you gotta do these in black and white, man. These will probably look just great. I love all the brick texture and all the debris. That's just really awesome. This looks Stalingrad. It's very cool. And you got the sandbags and everything all over the area. I think more texture. I think the floors, see, the outside of the buildings are always gray, right? But oftentimes, a lot of buildings, they're tan colored, or the reddish colors. I don't think you should be afraid to venture off into some of those other colors. And for like the interiors of the floors, I think also is your opportunity to do some other interesting stuff, like paint tiles, or even if you had a stencil of like a grid work, and you just airbrushed in that stencil of a grid work, just to create the illusion that there was tiles there, or something along those lines. But yeah. Let's see. You got like tiles on this floor over here, but it was because it's a bigger floor, right? But like all the buildings, otherwise they just feel kind of flat. Whereas if you had, your color on the outside, like a tan color, because again, some of these scorch marks and these rust stains and stuff like that, they're going to show up a lot better, and you're not going to have to push the color so bright to get them to work that well, right? But otherwise, yeah, dude, that looks awesome. Yeah, see, I like all the texture. I like the tiles. I like the bricks. I like the sand. Yeah. I think you'd have a little bit of sand occurring in corners, but again, that's minor. I think you'd also have like the streaks running inside the building as well. And I guess really it all depends on how soon you're imagining all this damage occurring, right? Like, were these buildings just blown out, or have they been blown out for quite a while? But very good stuff. Again, bullet holes. I think they should be laid out, a little differently. So you see, it feels like it just kind of like stitched across, and it doesn't feel very realistic. Versus like if they're close to the doorways or openings and things like that, like you get a couple, just one or two. Of course, the other one is that they don't, like, especially for miniatures, less is more. And so you don't have to put in, say, one or two, and then maybe one or two over here, and that's it. You don't need to have the entire wall covered in bullet holes to illustrate that, is a major war zone, right? So, yeah. But anyway, thank you, Adam. sending that in. Very good stuff. A lot of fun. And yeah, definitely should take some pictures of those. Keeping that aerial view and do it all black and white. And then have like DACA fighters in there in Photoshop with like flames and, stuff like that. So it looks like, World War II 40K version kind of stuff going on. Just a thought anyway. Despite you quit and smell the minis. Lazy Monkey at Kris at Greenleaf. I think the rubble in the train could use some sand and with the bricks. Just a bit to give it more crushed debris. It's also a bit too crisp and clean for what it represents. Yeah, it does feel very clean. But again, I think it's just because you got to build more texture and you got to build it up. But yeah, like throwing a little bit of sand into the rubble and getting those bricks and sand kind of, in a pile like that. And yeah, I think that's an excellent idea. Again, more texture. More. Spite you. In Soviet Russia, Mini smells you. HC Leoshi. Curious how Vallejo makes my minis smell nice. This is why I stick with Citadel. Citadel, yeah, it smells all right. Sometimes, though, you get some of these paints, and they smell really like kind of like the old school versions. Man, I can't. Oh, it was Typhus Corrosion. Typhus Corrosion. It's one of the technicals. Open it up and it smells like one of the colors. I can't remember what it is, but like from the first iteration of the paint line, it smelled like that. And immediately I was transported back in time to when I just started getting into this hobby and started picking up Citadel paints and starting to get a little more serious about my painting of these models and stuff like that. And yeah, I just immediately was flashed right back. So anybody out there who's been painting for a long time, okay, I'm talking like the when you used to get the boxes of 9, with the Golden Demon on the cover, you used to be able to get those box sets. The way those paints smelled, okay. If you open up Typhus Corrosion, the new Typhus Corrosion that's a technical, I don't think there's ever was an old one, but anyway, you open it up and it smells exactly like those old versions of those paints, and immediately I'm just back in time. I was back in time, and I felt young again. No, I felt old. Anyway, Dave Taylor, hey Kris, I was wondering what your thoughts were on realism versus looks when it comes to painting. Is it okay to be unrealistic if it looks cool? Yes, of course, definitely. Yes, definitely, of course. Do whatever you want. I prefer looks. I prefer looks over realism. I'm not very fond of realistic looking miniatures, other than like historical pieces like World War II stuff. Now I don't know if that's just me being narrow-minded or whatever, right? But I mean, like Eldar, I prefer my Eldar to be vibrant colored. Tyranids should be vibrant colored and slimy looking. Over the top. Definitely, always. I think style over realism every time because it looks better on the tabletop. Realistic colors are very desaturated and will look very muddy on the tabletop. They'll just look it's kind of no punch to it. And nothing gives you a sharper punch in the face than some Mephiston red. Where am I? Lazy Monkey at Kris Greenleaf. Print out clips of magazines to make rug and carpet patterns that can be slapped onto the floors to add some more visual interest. Yeah, or even adding like posters into the walls inside the buildings. Just like propaganda and stuff like that. Give you that kind of look as well. Yeah, definitely. Wallpaper. Even look up wallpaper patterns and print them out on paper and put them up on the walls, and you have wallpaper patterns. Yeah, it sounds like you're making dollhouse type of stuff, and you kind of are, but you're going for scale and and visual interest, and it's gonna look really, really cool. Duncan Aldis, Kris, you're right. Just smelled mine, and it reminds me of old marine dark blue. Yeah, exactly. Typhus corrosion, whatever ingredients are in typhus corrosion, it smells like the past. I sit here just sniffing like, geez, what is your deal, dude? Yeah. African Wise Man. I got a date with a few beers with my name on it. With my mates, keep well all and have a smashing good week. All you crazy and cool monkeys. Cheerio, gentlemen. Well, cheerio, African Wise Man. What time are we at? Oh, 3 minutes too. Man, we're done. Or you know what? I'm gonna do this last email. I'm gonna do this last. Lazy Monkey Kris. Grim Dark Dollhouse. You know what though? Grim Dark Dollhouse. That sounds like a goth bar. Oops, wrong one. There you go. Grim Dark Dollhouse. Yeah. Grim Dark Dollhouse. Yeah, it sounds like a gothic strip joint or something. Anyway, last email. This is from Dominic. Hey, Kris. Would you please have a few words for me about my painting skills on that metal chaplain? Which mistakes I made, and how can I avoid them? Thank you. Best regards, Dominic. Now, wait a second. Didn't I already do this? I did this last show. Right, because he was asking about it, and I already did it. So you know what? I don't have to do it. But anyway, we're looking at Dominic's chaplain again, right? Because remember I was going on about how the paint looked a little heavy, and I was going on about his Corrosius handle, how it was kind of like this marble effect, but I think he said he was going for like a wood effect. Crap, he emailed me too, or messaged me about it. But yeah, his Chappie Land. Chappie Land? Chappie. Good movie, by the way. Chappie. I don't know. Yeah, we did this guy last show. And I don't think there's anything to add to it. Other than, he's got a lot going on. He's doing a lot. He's got edge highlights. He's got this corrosion going on. You know what I mean? He's got the plasma glow. He's doing a bit of a zenithal type thing. He's trying to go for some crazy effects on the handle. Was it marble or something? I can't remember. Anyway, he's trying it all. And that's important too, is to try. And don't be afraid of failing. Not that that was a fail in any way, although the handle was a little bit muddy, and I think we went over that last show. But yeah. And you know what? That is all my emails, people. That was the last email. So you guys have to send me more emails. Otherwise, there's no emails. So I need emails. Because that was the last one. You want to see? I'll show you my emails. Look at it. See? I have them starred, and I can't scroll up any higher. Hold on. Crap. Yeah, see? There you go. So, that was the last emails. And now I'm going to put them into my folder. Boom. There we go. So, I'm done with emails. I'm out of emails. I'm out. It's like a gun going click, click, click. I'm out. So, you guys have to send me emails. Otherwise, there's no way to brush. One last look at the comments. Where are we? Ishyab. Thanks, Kris. Great show as always. Thanks for all the attended and submitted works. Appreciate all the comments, tips, and tricks, and feeling good about the hobby. Have a great week, all. See you later. Dave Taylor. Kris, is it okay if I send you a Golden Demon entry? Send you my Golden Demon entry so far. I'm just getting done with the conversions, so no paint on it yet. Sure, if you want to display it. I mean, if it's something you're hoping to enter as a competition piece, some competitions might have issue with it being displayed beforehand at other places. So be mindful of that as well. I wouldn't want you to get it disqualified, beforehand, right? But yeah. Comments pouring in here. HC Leo Shi. Well then, this has re-inspired me to get back into 40K. Good. I'm glad. And hopefully it didn't inspire you to get out of 40K. Because then I'd feel bad. Converticus said, Kris, book me an email spot for next week. Long time listener, first time caller. Yeah, well, just send me an email, dude. Man, it can be even anonymous. I'm anonymous Converticus. Hey, anonymous Converticus. Ooh, that sounds like quite the name. Anonymous Converticus. So, anyway. Emails. I'm out of emails. I'm out. I'm all done. So you guys seen my inbox? I'm done. So send your emails, questions, comments. You want something critiqued? Maybe you want a little help on some color schemes or anything like that. Or you just generally want to show off your abilities, or maybe a commission service. You want to drum up some extra service, or a little bit more exposure, whatever. Send it to Kris@miniwargaming.com. It's in the description below. Join us on Facebook if you want to keep the discussion going there, or you want more input, or whatever. Of course, it's just as fast a way to get a hold of me throughout the week. So, and of course, I post stuff periodically through there as well. Usually not painting related, sometimes goofy stuff, whatever. I just post whatever. I've got videos I need to be posting, and I haven't been posting them, and I should post them on my way to the brush, and just to incriminate some people. But anyway, so join your Facebook, Way of the Brush. It's in the description below. Way of the Brush t-shirts kind of help Kris out, support the cause, and of course they make you look manly. And so yes, in the description below, there's spreadshirt designs. Eventually I will get around to making my designs myself, and so they'll be handmade by me for you to wear proudly. And so, yeah, expect those sometime soon as well. I think that's it. So again, emails. Send me emails. I'm out of emails. I'm out. I'm dry. My lube is dry. It's sand in the lube. Anyway, take care of your brushes. They'll take care of you. And I will see you guys next week No, wait. Am I going to see you guys next week? Yeah, I will see you next week. Yes, because Adepticon's coming up, so I won't see you guys at one point. But I will see you guys next week. Yes. Yeah. Take care of your brushes. They'll take care of you. And I will see you guys next week. No, I will.